Hey, what up guys, Teiwaz here, back with an update to that crazy ant game, Empires of the Undergrowth. The Leafcutter update is here and it's pretty amazing. Let's dive right in here and check out these big old bully ants. Slug Disco has done it once again. They've released a pretty excellent update, featuring the new Leafcutter ants, and with these new ants comes an entirely new way to play. No longer killing for your food, you'll have to gather leaves and rely on your tiniest of ants, the minims, to feed the biggest ants to date, the Leafcutter majors, and everything in between. Heading to your Formicarium, you'll notice new options in the story menu. You'll need to relocate your ants in order to start the new missions. After that's completed though, the Leafcutter ants are at your disposal. Warning, from here on out there will be spoilers. I'll be showing you the missions, ants, and enemies in the new update. The first mission, 3.1 The Harvest, pits you against another budding colony of leafcutters fighting for the same territory and those juicy leaf buds. The goal here is to collect 10,000 leaves before the other colony. You'll have to gather leaves, defend supply routes, and even battle the other colony in order to ensure you gather more of that precious resource than they do. While your leafcutter miners and majors are out collecting the leaves, the smallest of your ants, the minims, are doing some of the most important jobs for your colony. The minims take the leaves that you've collected and convert them into a nutritious fungus that your colony survives on. Along with producing the food that you'll need, these incredible little workers also remove the waste produced by your colony and transfer it to a refuse pile. Yes, your ants now poop, and do they ever. My god, it's like the fungus is a laxative. With that much waste being produced, you'll need quite a few of the minims in order to keep your colony clean. Each ant tile you place produces a free minim which automatically runs around and does what it's supposed to. The fastest and cheapest way to get a few of these little multitaskers is to build a couple of worker tiles. Like I mentioned, each tile placed will hook you up with a minim worker, regardless of species placed. Let's talk about some of the other ants that have been introduced. First up, we have the Leafcutter Media Ant. These ants are your gatherers. The media ants are 4 times the size of your regular worker ants and can carry much more than the worker ant. They walk over the top of the workers who are slowed when they are carrying leaves, while the media ants are not slowed at all, and they are much more effective in a fight due to their massive size. So now we're moving on to the majors. When I first created a media ant, I thought to myself, damn, no, that's a bully ant. Until that first major popped out and it was the size of the queen in the Formicarium. So these guys are massive tanks. They work similarly as the media ants when collecting, but they are so much stronger when they're taking on some of the creepy crawlies of the Undergrowth. Speaking of which, let's get into some of the new enemies that you can expect to encounter in the Undergrowth. Obviously, other leafcutter ants are a big concern as they'll snatch up all your precious leaves. However, there are much bigger and scarier things to look out for. Creepy-ass giant whip spiders, praying mantises, crickets, daddy long-leg spiders, jumping spiders, and even an onslaught of army ants during the second mission, 3.2 Frontline. In the mission Frontline, you have to establish your colony in the jungle while defending your supply lines and keeping the invading army ants at bay. You can collect as much or as little as you want before attacking the invaders, but an attack is inevitable. If you wait around too long, the army ants will eventually find you and send in an attack of their own. Make sure the fight is on your terms and try to avoid the giant whip spider in the middle of the map until you're confident you can take it down. I think Slug Disco has done an incredible job with these new missions. The new enemies playstyle and the environment was incredibly fun to play after waiting for so many months on this update. The wait was well worth it. The new update performed really well on my system, and I've only experienced one little issue where during a mission, after digging out a tile, I wasn't able to place an ant tile where I had dug out. That was only once, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. The next game it worked perfectly, and I haven't been able to recreate the problem since. Once you've completed the missions and are ready to take on that final Formicarium challenge, you'll be pitted against another colony of ants. They contain mostly black ants and army ants, but when they get bunched up, those army ants really start to do a lot of damage. You'll need a lot of food stores and a few of those heavy-hitting leafcutter majors on your side. The goal here is to kill the queen in the other colony. However, at certain times, if that sadistic scientist thinks you're winning too easily, he'll shove his big old finger in the Formicarium and squish a few of your ants. One way to avoid this is to try to keep the fighting within the tube that connects the two colonies. If you're winning easily enough, then he can't squish you while your ants are in the tube. While in the tube though, those army ants get bunched up and they get that strength bonus that I mentioned a second ago, so keep that in mind. Well, that was a quick little video update on the Leafcutters. All in all, I really enjoyed it and think they've done another great job. I can't wait to see what the next update is all about. I'm curious to see that final challenge the Psychopath was talking about. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get back to work here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later!